Hey BookTube, welcome back to the History Shelf. Today's video will be blessedly short for those of you who are used to my longish videos. This one will be a relatively short video. I only have 5 books, but I think you'll find these books packed with potential. I'm calling this a small naval history book haul. I picked up 5 books. I think I pretty much cleared out everything that I want from the U.S. Naval Institute Press's what they call Clear the Decks clearance sale. It's been ongoing. I will link their site below, and I'll include the direct link to the Clear the Decks website sale. But I had to purchase books from them before from the clearance site, and I love Naval Institute Press books, and I found some more that I must not have gotten on the first round or two. So these are just 5 books, but let's see if there's anything in here that might appeal to you. I know I've got a lot of military history fans out there. Unfortunately, my friend Ben at the History Fella channel, and I'll link his channel down below. Please check out Ben's channel, give him some love, subscribe. He's getting closer to 100 subscribers. He's a small channel, but so worth your while. He does book reviews. His Saturday Smash Ups are great, or Saturday Smash. He's just a fun guy, and he's over the pond. He's over there in the UK. So I wish I could share some of these with him if postage wasn't so exorbitant. Just because the Naval Institute Press is based over here in America, United States, so I don't think you can get any of these, but Ben, I'm thinking of you. Anyway, let's take a look. All right, so the first book I picked up, oh good, and I can even tell you what I paid for it. This is how cheap they were. This is a very slim little volume. But I've been really not amassing, because I don't have a lot of them, but I have, sorry about that, was my phone. I've been reading in the since I started this channel, I've really been getting more into Vietnam memoirs, and fiction. Karl Marlantes, Keith Nightingale. What's the other guy's name? Is it Tim O'Brien? Yeah, I think the things they carried. So I've been really, really moving into the Vietnam era as far as memoir, historical fiction, and history as well. But so this was on the clearance site, and I was like, oh, I need to check it out. It says Vietnam Memoirs, A Passage to Sorrow. And this is by J. Robert Falabella. Small little volume here. This was on sale for $4.74. So I grabbed it. It says here in Vietnam Memoirs, J. Robert Falabella, a U.S. Army chaplain for the 25th Infantry Division, relates his experiences sharing the daily hardships and dangers of the combat soldiers with whom he served in Vietnam. Chaplain Falabella, decorated for his bravery under fire, offers eyewitness accounts of search and destroy missions, night ambushes, helicopter assaults, and a multi-hour firefight during the first Tet Offensive. The chaplain's memoir captures the emotions of his men, the anxiety and loneliness, and the effect of the climate and terrain on the mind, body, and spirit. His descriptions of waiting for approaching attacks and visits to the field hospitals are particularly memorable. Running through the narrative are Falabella's observations on the conduct of the war and his efforts to make certain these combat soldiers are never forgotten. Fascinating, and the cover is just very evocative of the chaplain at work in the field there. So, like I said, small little volume of memoirs, but I'm really excited to read it. It's 136 pages. Okay, let's see. Ooh, nice big naval biography here. I think I wanted to get this a while ago, and I just kept I was like, well, let me get some other things first. But I'm excited for this, and I love this edition. And of course, these are all, printed by Naval Institute Press. And this is about Fleet Admiral Ernest J. King. This is Master of Sea Power, a biography of Fleet Admiral Ernest J. King by Thomas B. Buell. So as you can see, it's pretty Pretty big guy right there. I think this was the most expensive one on the list. Yeah, about $9 for this one. But just trying to find it anywhere else, and not as nice an edition. And there's just tons of photos and stuff throughout. I don't know a lot about Ernest J. King. I'm going to be honest. You know, I think of the great admirals. I think of like what Nimitz, Spruance. You know, or yeah, Spruance, and but King was up there. Um, I know I'm forgetting some of the other biggies, but this is kind of cool. Yeah, we have no time to lose. Anyway, so for $9, this was a great addition to pick up and add to my naval history collection here and learn about Admiral King. So let's learn some more. Okay, sorry about that, guys. My camera stopped working. I don't know why. Let's try this again. So we're going to learn more about Admiral King here. Master of Sea Power has long been considered the standard biography of Fleet Admiral Ernest J. King, the controversial architect of the Allied victory in the Pacific and one of the most powerful naval officers in the history of the United States. Once asked if it was he who had said, "When they get in trouble, they send for the sons of bitches," King replied that he was not, but that he would have if he had thought of it. Never accused of having a warm personality, the 60-year-old King coveted the job of Chief of Naval Operations, but his temperament and decided lack of political tact led President Franklin Roosevelt to pass him over in the spring of 1939. Seemingly sidelined to the General Board in Washington, King's career was resurrected by World War II when he became commander, Patrol Force, in December 1940. Based on his efforts to counter the U-boat threat during the undeclared war with Germany, he was called to Washington the morning after the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor and appointed Commander-in-Chief of the U.S. Fleet. "Lord, how I need him," wrote Secretary of the Navy Frank Knox the day he summoned King to take control of the Navy. Gidget, behave. She is acting up. And Martine is not here to help. In early 1942, King's strategic brilliance earned him the complete confidence of President Roosevelt. When British and American war planners were reluctant to consider going on the offensive in the Pacific, King successfully lobbied for an aggressive strategy. "No fighter ever won his fight by covering up, merely fending off the other fellow's blows," he wrote. "The winner hits and keeps on hitting, even though he has to be able to take some stiff blows in order to keep on hitting." To me, that is reminiscent to a T of Ulysses S. Grant. I wouldn't be surprised if King was very, very much influenced by the tactics and strategy of Grant. Yeah, sometimes you have to take stiff blows, and Grant took a lot of criticism for the Overland Campaign, but I think that's unwarranted. He took an aggressive strategy that needed to happen, and in relatively short order was able to finish off Lee's army. The costs were high, indeed it was, but that's war. What can you do? So let's go back to this. As the first to hold the titles of both Chief of Naval Operations and Commander-in-Chief, U.S. Fleet, King's is one of the great American naval careers, his place in history forever secured by his remarkable contribution to the Allied victory in World War II. And it looks like Thomas B. Buell, he's also he was a retired commander in the U.S. Navy. He also wrote, I mentioned Spruance before, and he wrote a biography on Spruance called The Quiet Warrior, a biography of Admiral Raymond A. Spruance. Might have to check that one out as well. But again, this was a great addition to have for $9. Nice, tightly bound. This is a very sturdy book. And I'd like to learn some more about King. And naval history has always interested me. Any type of military history, really. I'd have to say I'm even more interested in naval history than aviation history, even though I was in the Air Force. Go figure. Yeah, anyway, so this is a nice, big, chunky biography on Admiral Ernest J. King. If you're interested, again, check out the link below I'll provide. Okay, so the next book is part of a series of books that a Naval Institute Press puts out called Leatherneck Classics, where they, reprint classics of U.S. Marine works of history, And this one will go well with my other book on the Vietnam memoirs, and this is The Easter Offensive. The Last American Advisors, Vietnam, 1972, by Colonel Gerald H. Turley, retired Marine. And there you go, Leatherneck Classics. Decent size here. Let me just read a little bit to you here. All right, make sure my camera's still recording. On March 30th, 1972, the North Vietnamese Army launched a major invasion of South Vietnam known as the Easter Offensive. Turley, then a U.S. Marine Lieutenant Colonel, on an introductory tour of bases, acted as a chief advisor to the 3rd ARVN Division during the invasion. Based on his experiences with the chain of command, his account of the offensive serves as a study of the impact of variables in war, both human and non-human, on the eventual outcome. It is also a remarkable war memoir full of courage, action, and heartbreak. Documented by personal interviews with combatants, official records, after-action reports, and North Vietnamese orders of battle, this account is told with authority and compassion. On the Marine Corps Commandant's professional reading list for many years, the Easter Offensive was a selection of the Military Book Club when first published in hardcover. Fabulous. Let's see, when was this published first? 1985. So yeah, not everything is, these Leatherneck Classics, they take you back a ways. And they have some other ones that are written by soldiers even way before that. So I'm kind of interested in checking out some of the other Leatherneck Classics as well. So again, nicely kind of like a spotlight history on a certain, one campaign, and not a survey, not a big daunting introduction to Vietnam at all, and not like a Max Hastings Vietnam book or a Stanley Carnow. Revisionist, we got Mark Moyer, we've got there's pick your poison when it comes to the larger books on Vietnam. This is definitely for the military historian minded, someone who is interested in how campaigns unfurl, how they're planned, where things go right, where things go wrong, and I kind of like that more kind of focused history on a certain aspect of a battle or a war. So the Easter Offensive will be a welcome addition to my growing Vietnam history section of the history shelf. Okay. Anyway, so the next book is actually a work of historical fiction. So this is a novel. Originally came out in 1987. Oh, and did I say how much I spent for the Easter Offensive? $4.39. They still have copies left. That's what you would pay for it. So just so you know. South to Java. Okay, look at this, by Vice Admiral William P. Mack and William P. Mack Jr., written with his son. Edward L. Beach, who wrote Run Silent, Run Deep, in which I picked up on my last Naval History Press haul, along with, I think, Cold as the Sea. And I still need to pick up Dust on the Sea. But Edward L. Beach, yeah, he kind of perfected that genre of naval fiction pertaining to World War II. And he says, an epic novel of war, pride, and passion for the sea, a terrific story. So South to Java. This book was only $3.29. So I thought, why not? Let's see if we can get a good rousing, naval war tale. So let's read this. The crew of an old U.S. Navy destroyer steaming toward a deadly battle in the Java Sea is the focus of this famous novel set at the outbreak of World War II, as the Allies attempted to defend the Philippines and Dutch East Indies against superior Japanese forces. Thrust into conflict against the highly trained modern Navy, the American sailors often had only their own courage with which to meet the enemy. And Admiral Mack's memorable description of those men as they faced overwhelming odds has assured the book's popularity since it first appeared in hardcover in 1987. Fantastic. So William P. Mack, the Vice Admiral, he died in 2003, but he was the author of numerous books, served as a gunnery officer on board the destroyer USS John D. Ford, in the Java campaign. He was Vice Admiral and Commander of the 7th Fleet and later served as Superintendent of the U.S. Naval Academy. And then his son, William P. Mack Jr., has co-authored a number of books about or with his father. And after serving in destroyers as a young officer, he became a doctor of medicine. How do you like them apples? All right, so south to Java. Super cheap pickup at the Clear the Deck sale at Naval Institute Press. Very cool. All right, so the final book I got here. Can't pass up anything Civil War related. And I'm surprised I hadn't picked it up before. I'm trying to look down here at my paper to see how much I paid for this one. $3.88. And look what I picked up. Hardcover. Commanding Lincoln's Navy, Union Naval Leadership During the Civil War. Look at that cover by Stephen R. Taft. Nice, huh? $3.88. Can't beat that. Awesome. Okay. While its story is not as well known as its Union Army counterpart, the Union Navy played a crucial role in the Civil War by blockading Confederate ports, cooperating with the Army in amphibious assaults, and controlling the Mississippi River and its tributaries. President Lincoln understood that the Navy was not as important militarily and politically to the war effort as the Army, so he delegated authority to his Secretary of the Navy, Gideon Welles, because there was less of a need for him to closely oversee its operations. In carrying out his duty to manage the naval war, Welles divided the Union Navy into 6 squadrons and set about choosing their commanders. Although Welles made his selections based on officers' records and characters, he also sometimes took into account political connections, seniority, and availability. Some of his earliest appointments proved disappointing, not a surprise if that was his criteria. But his insight into picking leaders improved markedly as the war continued, and he gained a greater understanding of the Navy and its officer corps. Indeed, by the end of the conflict, Welles had become quite ruthless in his search for effective squadron commanders capable of filling the Navy's increasingly difficult missions. Welles's eventual success in picking effective squadron commanders contributed greatly to Union victory. To illustrate these points, Taft discusses the key role of Union naval commanders in winning some of the war's most important campaigns and battles: the assaults on New Orleans, Charleston, Mobile Bay, and Fort Fisher, and the fighting on the Mississippi. Taft documents the importance of these officers to the success of the Union Navy and shows that these men were just as vital to Union success as their more famous Union Army counterparts. That is uncontestable. The Navy, without the success of the Navy kind of just putting the stranglehold on the Mississippi River, sealing off New Orleans, Mobile Bay, you just go down the list, the war would have dragged on a hell of a lot longer. And here's our author. I've never heard of him, Stephen R. Taft, professor of history at Stephen F. Austin State University in Nacogdoches, Texas. Sweet. What are his other books? I'm curious. He's the author of the award-winning Commanding the Army of the Potomac, the Philadelphia Campaign, and MacArthur's Jungle War. All right. Nice little mixture there. And then on the cover here, what do we have here in this picture? We've got Admiral David D. Porter and his staff on the flagship Malvern before the first Fort Fisher expedition. And the painting is called The Engagement Between the Cumberland and the Merrimack by Charles S. Raleigh. So, a nice little piece of work on Civil War naval history from the Union perspective for $3.88. And that, my friends, is my little tiny video. They're very rare here at the History Shelf because I usually have just a ton of things to show you. But I wanted to just do these separately. I can actually do a pyramid today, right? But I'm just going to hold them up. I'm too clumsy to do it one at a time. So there you have it. We have the Vietnam memoirs. We have Master of Sea Power, Commanding Lincoln's Navy, South to Java, and the Easter Offensive. So these are 5 books I picked up for a song. Minus the shipping. I think the shipping might have even been free. Probably $22 for all of these. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, let me know below what interests you. I hope if there's something here that you like, that you will visit the the link I provide below. Check out the History Fellow channel, Ben, my friend. Let's get him to 100 subscribers. That would be fantastic. And what else? Sorry for the interruption with the camera. Just decided to stop working. But let's see. I plan on trying to get some more videos in this week. I'm sorry for the one video per week that's been happening the last few weeks. As you know, I've had a backlog of things to knock out. But I'm catching up. And I'm seeing daylight. So more videos to come, BookTube. And I hope you've enjoyed this one. Thanks for all the likes and the subscribers. Please do subscribe if you have not. I try to bring a variety of things to the channel. History, fiction, historical fiction, but I also do like to read mysteries and thrillers, and I will sometimes talk about that. So anyway, guys, that's enough for today, and I will see you soon. Bye.